boys and girls, I have a special story to share with you today. It is called Pete the Cat and His 4 Groovy Buttons. Groovy. Does anybody know what the word groovy means? Oh, yes it does. It means like you want to dance and move around. So we're going to read the story about Pete and his 4 groovy buttons. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are the buttons on his jacket the same or different? You're right, they are different. There's 4 different colors. We have light blue, dark blue, green, and red. And what do you notice here? A skateboard, that's right. He is sitting on a skateboard. So let's see what Pete is gonna do on that skateboard. Pete the cat put on his favorite shirt with 4 big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much, he sang this song. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Look at Pete. What is he doing? He's sitting. And right now he has 1, 2, 3, 4 groovy buttons. And look, up here we see the number 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is the same as the number 4. I wonder what's gonna happen to those buttons. Does anybody have any guesses? Let's find out. Pop! Oh no! One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Let's put our thinking caps on so we can figure out how many. I know you can do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Is that more or less than 4? What do you think? It is less. It's less. He lost his button. There's 3 buttons now. 3 represented by the big 3 because 4 minus 1 equals 3. Oh no, look at what's happening to his jacket. It's starting to open up, right? So he has 3 buttons. Let's see what happens. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. And then we can see here's our word, groovy. Groovy, and what do we say groovy means? It means to move to the music, right? Pop! Oh no. Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Are you ready to count? Let's count together. 1, 2. What happened to 3? It popped off and rolled away. So now we're left with 2. That's right, boys and girls, because 3 minus 1 equals 2. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no, because Brave's a brave little kitty cat. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Do you notice the colors are changing on the pages? What colors do we see? The other one I saw for the number 3 was red. So this one, does anybody know this color? Aha, it is yellow. You're right. You guys are so smart. Pop! Oh no. Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Well, the last page we had how many buttons? 2, right? So let's see how many are on Pete's jacket. I only see 1 now. Let's see. Oh look, in the background I see an ice cream man. How many scoops are on the cone? There's 2, right? If I were to lose one of my ice creams, how many would there be? 1, that's right, boys and girls, because 2 minus 1 equals 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My button, my button, my one groovy button. My button, my button, my one groovy button. Now what color is the number? It is blue. That's my favorite color, blue. Wow, 1 button. I wonder what's gonna happen to Pete. Oh no. I see the word pop. What does that mean? You're right, the button did fall off. Oh no. The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? He's losing all his buttons. Where do you think Pete is out of this picture? This picture has a palm tree. And what do we see here? Have any of you been to this place? I see some sand and some water. We call that the beach, right? Like for summertime when you go with your mommies and daddies to the beach, maybe you build some sand castles. And then there's the water, the beautiful ocean, right? With the waves. And what's underneath Pete's feet? Does anybody know what this long yellow object is called? It's a surfboard. And what do I see here? You're right, it is a car. This kind of car is called a Beetle or a Volkswagen. Let's see what happens to all those buttons. He has the number 0 for buttons now, because 1 minus 1 equals 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt. And what do you think he saw? Any guesses? His belly button. Right there. Do you have a belly button? We should all have belly buttons, right? He kept on singing his song. My button, still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. Now look at this picture. He has no buttons on his shirt. He has his belly button. And where is he now? Where did Pete go? He was on top of the car before. Look it. I see waves, and he's on that surfboard that we learned about on the other page. Maybe he's surfing. It looks like he is. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness, no. We keep on singing. 'Cause buttons come and buttons go. Dun 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 dun. The end. Now I hope you guys enjoyed this book, Pete the Cat and his 4 Groovy Buttons. There will be many more to come, and I hope you have a nice day. Enjoy.